Hey everyone, we're about to go on a really cool journey back in time to figure out the secret story of our pets. We're going to find out exactly how those furry friends napping on our couches went from being totally wild animals to our absolute best buddies.
I mean, it's a funny thought, isn't it? You see them chasing a toy or begging for a treat, but you have to wonder, is there still a little bit of wildness hiding in there? Well, you're not totally wrong to think that.
Oh yeah, the ancestors of every single dog out there were these powerful wolves, and every cat's ancestors were sneaky, clever wildcats. They didn't have owners or cozy beds. Nope, they had to hunt for every single meal and just survive all on their own. So how in the world did they get from the deep, dark woods into our living rooms? Okay, so our first story kicks off thousands and thousands of years ago, right around the warm glow of a human campfire. And this is where a very smart and very hungry animal made a choice that would literally change everything.
Just picture it. A group of ancient humans are cleaning up after dinner, and just outside the firelight, a pair of glowing eyes is watching. It's a wolf. But maybe not the biggest, scariest wolf in the pack. This one's a little braver, maybe a little more curious than the others, and it smells something so good.
So the wolves who were brave enough to get close figured out that, hey, these humans leave behind some pretty tasty scraps. And in return, the humans noticed something incredible. These wolves would start barking and growling if any strangers or big, dangerous animals came nearby. And just like that, a deal was struck. Yummy food in exchange for a top-notch security system. It was a perfect win-win.
But you know, there was a secret ingredient that really sealed this friendship. As these camp wolves hung around humans more and more, their bodies actually started to change. A special gene, it's called AMI2B, basically gave them a brand new superpower, the ability to eat starchy foods like grains or bread. See, wolves can't really digest that stuff, but for these new proto-dogs, it meant they could live right alongside us on our leftovers.
And that's when humans started to get involved. They'd encourage the calmest, most helpful wolves to stick around. And when those wolves had puppies, the humans would help raise them, always picking the friendliest ones of the litter. You do that over and over for thousands of years, and that slow, steady process turned those wild wolves into the loyal, tail-wagging best friends we know and love today.
All right, now for our other story, which went down a completely different path. Say, while dogs were kind of invited to the party, cats basically invited themselves. And trust me, they had a very, very good reason.
The story of the cat really begins when humans made a huge life change. We became farmers. So for the first time ever, people were storing huge piles of grain. And if you're a tiny, squeaky creature, a giant pile of grain is like an amusement park. Yep, I'm talking about mice and rats. And you know what? Wherever you find a lot of mice, you are going to find their #1 predator. Wildcats looked at these new human farms and didn't see people to be friends with. They saw the world's greatest all-you-can-eat buffet. And the farmers? They couldn't have been happier. These cats were expert hunters who took care of their pest problem for free. It was another perfect unspoken deal.
This whole partnership got so special that in some places, cats were treated like absolute rock stars. Seriously, in ancient Egypt, they were a huge deal. They didn't just protect the food, they were also seen as sacred, connected to gods and goddesses. People loved their cats so much that they'd often mummify them just like people, so they could be together in the afterlife. How amazing is that?
And cats are total masters of communication. It's a skill they've been using for thousands of years. They didn't need to bark. Like you can see here, a simple raised tail could tell a person, "Hey, I'm friendly," while a slow blink became this huge sign of trust. They figured out how to talk to us without ever making a sound.
So living with people for all that time didn't just change where dogs and cats lived, it actually changed their bodies and their brains. This whole long process of becoming tame is called domestication, and it left its mark in some pretty wild ways.
This whole process led to something scientists call Domestication Syndrome. If you put our pets next to their wild ancestors, you'll see that our pets often have smaller brains, probably because they don't have to worry about surviving all the time. They also develop stuff you would never see in the wild, like floppy ears and all these new coat colors. And of course, the biggest change of all happened in their personality. They became friendly and trusting.
Now, this journey didn't just change the animals, it changed us too. The way we think about our pets has totally evolved from seeing them as useful workers to something so much more important.
As you can see, our relationship really grew over time. After being these sacred helpers in places like Egypt, it wasn't really until the 1800s that people started to think, hey, having a pet is really good for the family, and it teaches kids to be kind. And now, today, For so many of us, our pets are, without a doubt, members of the family. We celebrate their birthdays, and they're the first ones to cheer us up when we're sad.
So here's the bottom line. That sleepy animal on your floor is the hero of an incredible story. Whether it was that brave wolf that took a chance and stepped into the firelight, or that clever cat that showed up for a mouse feast, their ancestors made a choice. And that deal, made so long ago, is still echoing today in every single bark, every purr, and every wagging tail. So next time you're playing with your dog, or you watch your cat pounce on a toy, just think about that incredible journey they took to get to you. When your dog digs in the yard or your cat hunts your shoelaces, you're seeing a tiny little piece of their wild past. What kind of wild things does your pet do? It's a fun way to remember the amazing story that brought them into our family. Thanks for joining me.